about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, it's time!
And welcome everyone to the Circle Debate Cage My IQ Iron Championship Online MMA podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is the host TV's When I've been see, of course, with my other host, mi familia, my blood, my all, mi sangre, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and introduce my other host, of course, man with the IQ that Masvidal should have thought of retirement a long time ago, but he unfortunately did not want to retire. But it is now he did. But we'll get into that, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Bagley, what is going on? Bagley.
He wanted to get that jacket for testing negative for anything for the 50th time. They do that thing where if you get tested 50 times and don't test positive, you get some sort of jacket. So that was his 50th time.
Is that what? He's going to get that green jacket like the golf one? I guess we're going to get. Jesus Christ. And, of course, the man who brings that rage in that cage, ladies and gentlemen, because it brings you that pain. This man, the phenomenal one himself, that will teach you a lot of things in the sport of mixed martial arts. That's why he's the phenomenal one himself, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Rage, what is going on, Coach? You gave that round of applause. That's right. You deserve that. Well deserved. Because, man, there was a lot of things we said last week for the predictions for, for this card. And what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, of course, is for UFC 287. Adesanya Pereira Part 2, but we already know what part 8 or 9, or whatever it is. And then, of course, Gilbert Burns and Jorge Masvidal. We were here last week giving our predictions for it. And there was a lot of them we were kind of wrong. Well, mainly me, I can tell you that. Coach at least got a couple right because he did call at least 2 right, I believe.
I got them all right except 2.
There you go. Only 2 you had wrong. Only 2 you had wrong. But everything else, you had them you had them all, man.
I would say Rob Font.
Hey, oh wow. But yeah, let's get into the action, man. Let's kick it off, but we're gonna be giving our recap for the pay-per-view main card, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get it. Bring it up, Bagley. What do we got first for the main card?
We got a bantamweight matchup. We had Christian Rodriguez defeated Raul Rosas Jr. by unanimous decision, 29-27, 29-28, and 29-28.
When I saw this, I was disappointed. But hey, I was impressed with the first round for Raul Rosas. I was expecting more out of him in the second and third round, but by the looks of it here, it looks like he used everything what he got. He put it out there for the first round. All that energy, that cardio, was not really useful in the second, third round. I got to give it a credit where credit's due to Christian Rodriguez. The veteran himself, even though a couple fights that he already has in, but his defense was there for the first round. Rodriguez's defense was up to par, and I'll commend him for that. But he came in the second, third round and really dominated. I mean, that was his round. I mean, it's unfortunate that our boy, Rosas lost, but hey, you know what? You live and learn, baby. It doesn't mean that you're gone. Dana White still loves you, and you're still part of the UFC, and I'm still happy that he's still part of it. But he got a lot to learn. There is a lot to learn, and who was in Raul Rosas' corner? Was it his family in his corner? Because that's
his father and his brother.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know what he needs to do. Maybe I know. Coach should have been there. Coach should have been in his corner. I told you, Coach. He should have just. Hey, you know what? Let me go out there. Hey, be alongside him. Be right in his corner, baby, and tell him. Oh my God! But it is. It's an unfortunate loss. But hey, you know what? It's a live and learn, and hopefully he can go back in the blueprint, go back on the board, go back to the coach, Coach Rage. I'm like, hey, Coach, what did I do wrong? And we'll save him best for last of what he did wrong. He's gonna break it down for us from that. But Bagley, give us your take on this fight. Were you disappointed as well?
Like, I watched it on Saturday. Watched it. I was in disbelief. But then I watched it again. This time, like, I was drinking a little bit Saturday, so I had to watch it a little bit earlier, like, clear, watch it slowly, keep an eye on things. And I noticed a lot of things this time that I didn't notice the first time. I noticed the fact that Rosas was rushing. He was basically pushing the pace from the start. Like, he was basically sprinting. You heard the commentary booth comment on it, the fact that he just kept on running over, rushing his clinch ups. He was trying to get on top of him. He got up to the back. He was rushing, trying to choke him out. And Christian Rodriguez was just taking a sweet little time, not moving that much, being more methodical. He was just taking this was basically the tortoise against the hare, I would like to say, because Rosas wanted to get him out like that. He had his chances in the first round. He had the choke in, but Christian Rodriguez didn't really phase him. He didn't panic. You could see that he is more of a veteran now compared to Rosas because he's had some experience fighting in the UFC. He knows what to expect. So he just went with the flow. He went with the game plan. And as the fight went on in round 2, you could see Rosas slow down. You saw Christian take over. He wasn't taking any chances. He was just giving what Rosas was giving to him. Those times that he could have went to the back of Rosas, but he chose to keep the lock on the back and just throw at him and keep positioning. And then round 3, I'm going to show you the picture again. He started to connect on more of the strike in the stand-up because Rosas refused to go into the clinch until 2 minutes in because he knew that he didn't have that energy left to clinch and really take him down. So he just took what was given to him, and it was basically pretty easy for Rodriguez after round 1. And I will say that Rosas does have the potential. He just needs to kind of get the IQ going, not rush things, like take chances when he needs to, but then be patient when things aren't just given to him. And I think that's one of the mistakes that he made. He just kept on rushing, and he tired himself out.
Yeah, indeed. Coach.
Yes. So when you have a loss like this, it can go one of 3 ways. It can go good, it can go bad, or nothing can change, right? I hope this is good for Rosas. He's young, right? And the concern was, well, he's trying to be the youngest champion ever. So, he's rushing his career and, rushing some of the fights. But at the same time, I hope he doesn't lose that urgency. Did you guys remember Jeremy Stevens?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that happened to him. He was the little heathen. He was a beast. He was a monster. And that was part of his personality. That was part of his fight style. And then some of his coaches tried to change him. And he went on this horrific losing streak. And he was also working with a con artist for strength and conditioning. It was a mess. But the point that I'm making is Raul's personality is high-paced, intense, aggressive. And if he can keep that and learn all the nuances that he needs to learn, he's young. He's 19 years old, right?
Yep.
And a lot of what we saw was the difference between a 19-year-old and a 24-year-old.
Yes.
So I think because of his personality, I don't think they're gonna try and tame him, and I think that's a good thing. but you need to grow into your body. You need to take appropriate fights. You need to step it up in competition without trying to jump up the ladder. Climb the ladder, but don't try and jump 3, 4 levels. I think the kid has a great future ahead of him, and I hope his dad continues to train him, and I hope that they come away from this loss as a learning experience, but don't make drastic changes. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and try and start all over and slow him down and change his style. No. And his style got him to where he is, right? Running over people, first round finishes, got him on the main event, right? So I think they should take a different approach in his career, and shear up some of the holes in his game. But I don't think they need to revamp his whole style. But at the same time, we also need to acknowledge how great a job Rodriguez in his corner did. Right? They were great. He was great. So I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah, with the Rosas, I feel like if he could disguise some of those takedowns, he'd be a lot better instead of like just telegraphing it so much to where I felt like it was Curtis Blades rushing from across the cage, and just be like, "I'm doing this. You're either going to defend it or you're not." Maybe if he could disguise it and get closer, it might be more effective.
Yeah, and that's what I call MMA. Actually fighting MMA, where you set up your grappling with your striking, you set up your striking with your grappling, and you mix the martial arts. It's easier said than done, and it's a nuanced skill that, all the champions do it. Well, Khabib didn't do it, but most of the champions do it, which is what makes them champions.
That's right.
And at least he's very young, so he can make corrections. It's not like he's 35, where you're stuck in whatever you're doing now because at that point in time you're not going to change anything. He can make He can make changes and be good to go since he's only 18.
He's young. He's young, and he has a lot of room to grow in both his striking and his grappling, and mixing them in an MMA fashion.
Yeah.
But I think he can do it, and I really like. I love the family, and again, I was biased. I picked him because I love what they're doing, and I just I wish them all the luck in the world.
Absolutely.
And I think him getting put on the main card kind of put a little bit of pressure on him.
Yeah,
to make a big scene, to try and get a big finish, and maybe they need to put him on the prelims now so he can work on things and not have that much pressure to work his way back up like anybody else.
Exactly. So that's the different path in the career. Have a long, fruitful career rather than a short, spectacular career, right? Yeah. And he's good enough. He's young enough. His father is smart enough. I think that they can really, go one step at a time rather than trying to jump entire chapters.
Yeah, because then right away you'll see the downfall. Like right away, we've seen other fighters have been at that level and can never come back to it.
Right.
And so,
I mean, like how many flavors of the month have we? Sage Northcutt. I can't even think of all the other kids that have, just showed up, burn out, and now they're right. And I don't want to see that. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to see that happen.
And then he just had his first fight in almost 4 years.
Sage.
Yeah. So
I've met Sage. He's a really good guy. He's a good guy, but we're not talking about that. I just.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll see what the future holds for Rosas, and hopefully, we'll see him back in that main event card. But in the meantime, I mean, I agree. Prelims started off, get more hungry with it, more experience, and then once you're up there again, then this time you have all that knowledge and all that experience of being in a preliminary card to get into the main cards.
You and I, we predicted Rosa because of our bias, and
yes, bias.
What did
I picked Rosa.
We all picked Rosas. We all picked Rosa.
We all went on the hype train.
Yeah,
we were on the hype train. I was really happy for him when the last fight. I was like, yeah,
and I'll do it again. I don't care. I'll do it again.
Yeah, of course. Love it. All right, what do we got on the second fight, Bakley? What do we got going?
We got a welterweight matchup. We have Kevin Holland, who defeated Santiago Ponzinibbio by third round KO.
Oh man, this was. I can tell you what is it. I think this fight could have been performance of the night too for me, but what shook me on this was Ponzinibbio's defensive was not there. Holland really showed up, and definitely showed up by, I would say, the second round, because the first round, of course, Ponzinibbio, I'll give Ponzinibbio the first round, but at least Kevin Holland had to taste. Okay, now I know what's being calm and collective. Now I don't know what to do in the second round. He came in with this, just those heavy strikers, striking that he has, and Ponzinibbio had no answer. I think the biggest mistake where it caused it all was, I think, even towards the end of the round, which that was a rough fall, but that knockout, baby, Jesus, that TKO was fantastic. But for me, I think Ponzinibbio's mistake, and I don't know if you guys agree with me, but when Holland made that kick and Ponzinibbio grabbed, not only once, he did it twice. That was a big no-no. Knowing he held it. Why would you do that? Yeah, that was a big mistake for holding on to it, especially he got lucky by it wasn't say the first round, I believe it was by the end of the first round when it was over. He got lucky because, mind you, that Holland's reach is so long. Like, okay, he can literally just back fist him. Okay, here you go, and oh shit, he's hitting it now. Okay, but I don't know if the coach is talking to that or that was his intention, but I think that was an error on his part. What caused him to? I think that was one of the major factors, and besides his defense, but I think that's when the whole thing turned around. And Holland came in, knocked him out. Great knockout. Love how Holland went over the top talking to Dana and Donald Trump. So I know Holland wants, I know he wants to fight. I know he wants to champion a title fight, but that welterweight division is you gotta tranquilo, Holland. You gotta take it easy a little bit, but.
Go up the ladder.
You gotta go up the ladder, my brother, but it's gonna take quite some time to get there. But man, I mean, we'll see. But it was a great fight. I enjoyed it. I think this could have been a performance of the night. I wouldn't say fight of the night, performance of the night, because of Holland's performance. I think he made up from his last performance that we saw, and I'm happy for him for this win. Great win for him. And man, the crowd was really, I think this Miami crowd was hot. I really enjoyed this crowd throughout the whole event. It was fantastic. They were really into these fights, and especially this one, for Holland. So kudos to Holland. Great win. All right. Take it away, Blake. Take it away.
I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to say, if I had to say a word for this fight, I would say alert, because that's what Kevin Holland was. He was very alert in this. He knew he had to put on a very good performance. He landed a lot of good shots because, like I said before, Ponzinibbio gives his face up way too much. Yep. I even like some of the leg kicks that he threw. But then, just like you said, when Holland threw that leg up and Ponzinibbio caught it, I felt like maybe it's because of in the heat of the moment, you don't really think as much in the moment. I felt like he could have swept the other leg out from Holland, but I guess he just didn't think of it because of how fast they were going and everything. And then Holland just went like boom, but then he didn't even catch him with the first one. He caught him with the second one.
Second one, yeah.
He caught him with the second one, and it was just like you said, the reach, the torque of his hand flying back, just caught him. I think it was that with the combined damage of the shots that he was already taking in the fight kind of did it in, and maybe it was just like a combination of everything. Yeah. He just took too much, because I feel like maybe if it was just that, maybe he could have survived it, but he just took so much damage in that fight. And then he was able, just like you said, round one was good for him, but Holland wanted this. He wanted that finish. He wanted
he found that finish.
Because he hasn't felt that way in a while, because he's taken some weird fights. The Shimaev one was just, there's nothing he could do because of the situation with the pay-per-view, and he wasn't going to not fight, so he took that one. And he has looked better at welterweight than he did in middleweight because of the grappling. And I've seen improvements. It's just he's doing it all while facing guys in the top 15. This is something that you should be doing outside the top 15 and working up. And he's doing it trial by fire in this new division in the top 15, which is crazy. And he's had mixed a bag of emotions there. And I give him props for all of that. I do. Like, you can say that it's easier to like move up and it's harder to move down because you're cutting weight. But with everything, with worrying about guys taking him down, it's worked out for him for the better.
Oh, yeah. And just to add on what you said about the leg kick, that's another thing, too, that was shocked me, and I'm pretty sure you caught him too, Coach, was that Holland didn't switch his footwork.
Yeah.
So Ponzinibbio could have taken advantage of that. But how you mentioned that he was too overwhelmed with all the striking that Holland was giving him, he wasn't focusing on, the leg kicks, because Holland was hurting by, the mid-second round, that he was already, his leg was really good. And he didn't switch. He didn't switch. He kept it the same. So that was a big risk on Holland's part, too. Because that could have been, it could have gone the opposite way if Ponzinibbio would have focused on that, So maybe that's something that maybe Holland should look at, because you don't want, especially someone of a leg striker like Ponzinibbio, if you fight another fighter like that who's probably a better striker than he is, then that's going to be a big problem for Holland.
He ramps things up as the fight goes, but I feel like because he didn't get the chance to with the Holland land some big shots on him, he had to kind of change his game plan and go away from it. He had to kind of play a little bit of defense rather than offense with how he was taking those shots. And that's just props to Holland for noticing that and not letting him get back to what was working for Ponzinibbio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coach,
Kevin Holland is special. The way he's built, the way he talks, and the choices he makes. He lands stuff that shouldn't land, and he makes stuff work that should never work. The way he knocked out Jacare, the way he wobbled Ponzinibbio with a backhammer fist that just kind of like thrown out there. Those strikes don't work for normal people, but because of the way he's built, he's very long and lanky, and he's got great leverage in his strikes. He makes stuff work. So when his head is in the game, when he's focused, and when he believes that he's special, good things happen.
Yeah.
I think he's best at welterweight. I don't want to take anything away from Ponzinibbio, but this fight did go longer than I thought it would. I thought Holland was going to get the knockout earlier in the fight, but it was fun to watch. I think all the mistakes. See, that's the other thing, right? It's really hard when you got guys built like Holland, who are extremely tall and have unusual proportions, right? It happened, I can't remember, but it happened not too long ago. Somebody grabbed a leg and they got hit again because the person had a very long reach. I want to say Paul Craig, maybe.
Yeah, it was Paul Craig.
Yeah,
he got hit with it. Yeah,
that's hard to prepare for. You don't catch kicks that often in MMA sparring. I mean, it happens, but it doesn't happen every round, and it doesn't happen with every training partner. And then what training partner do you have that's built like these outliers with extremely long limbs, and so it's not something you have a whole lot of experience with. Where it's
Right.
like, oh, this is a long, tall guy. I need to grab further down by the ankle and lead my head. You just don't get that experience in training. So yeah, yeah. So um,
And it was Johnny Walker who did it to Paul Craig.
Oh, Johnny
see,
Walker. Okay.
another guy that hits way harder than you'd expect, and the unusual lever lengths and odd body proportions. I mean, like Johnny Walker's a strange looking dude,
Yeah.
but but I see some similarities in their structures between Johnny Walker and Kevin Holland, right?
Kevin Holland.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I totally agree with that.
I gotta see if he's back in the rankings or not.
Who?
No.
Walker? Or
No,
Kevin Holland's not in the rankings.
No,
He's already
he's-
checked. He's not in the rankings.
he's
yet.
at 16.
Yeah.
He's at
16
16. He's right outside.
That's good. That's
Okay.
good. Yeah, he's got some work to do, and I would really like to see him get with a mental skills coach or a sports psychologist. Tomato. But I'd like to really see him work on his psychology, because if he gets that one piece of the puzzle locked away, he's going to be something really difficult to deal with at
Mhm.
any level of the game.
Absolutely. Oh man! Shout out to Tom. Shout out to Broadcast Australia, man. Australia, what's going on? Will Gray, what is going on too, my brother?
No, the last question about this. What are your thoughts on Ponzinibbio trying to say that he was getting up? He said that he wasn't down, that they should have let him get back up because he was trying. He said he was trying to get back, even though I don't think he was. I think he was done. I think he was like he didn't even know where he was at.
Yeah, I think he didn't know that he was unconscious.
I didn't think so either.
No, he was out. That was a great stoppage.
Yeah, it was a good call. I mean, come on. Once
But
your face first.
That happens. Yeah, right. Exactly. If that happens, and if you fall face first in boxing, they don't do the count. Right. It's over. We know it.
Yeah, it's over.
We know that that's a knockout. But it happens all the time, especially in MMA. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but guys, you see the guys, they'll start wrestling or grappling with the ref and then argue about the stoppage. It's like, I have shoes on.
Right? Begley, what do we got next, brother?
We have a bantamweight matchup that saw Rob Font defeat Adrian Yanez by first round KO.
I just wish Chris was here because I wanted to get his reaction about this fight. I wish he was here because I wanted to. The coach, you were the only one that picked Font. We picked Yanez. Look, experience from this man. Even though Font has been out of the octagon for quite some time, he came back. He was calm and collective. Just everything calm and collective in the first 2 minutes, I would say, and then right after that, he just went in, got him with the jab, and it's just a good combination that Rob fought an opening of Yanez. Of Adrian Yanez. He found that opening and right away with that right, and that was it. And kudos to Font for being very calm and collective and using his defense technique, and wasn't really too much. He didn't overwhelm himself mentally. I feel that he was waiting for the right opening time, and he found it. That window was open right there on Yanez, and then that's when he took over. And I gotta give Font his credit. And great win for him. And this was a good win for him. I believe this was the fight that was a performance of the. Was this performance of the fight? I think it was, wasn't it? No. Yeah, performance of the night. Yeah, performance of the night.
Excellent.
Yeah. So congratulations to Rob Font. Great win. And it's funny how they asked Dana on the post, what do you think about Rob Font? He just didn't say much about him. I guess maybe his boy was Yanez. It was like shit. All right. Who knows? But kudos to Rob Font. Good win. We'll see what's next for him. But Yanez, hey, you got to lose sometime, and he lost to a great veteran just like Rob Font. So Nobody's undefeated all the time. Nobody stays undefeated all the time. It's rare when you see that in octagon. It's rare. Go ahead, Bigley. Take it away, brother.
Yeah, this was kind of a tale of two halves of the first round. I felt like Giannis was catching him with some of those power jabs that he was throwing in early, and he definitely was doing damage to Rapon's face. Rapon took a year off because of orbital damage, and then he had the birth of his child as well, so he took a little bit more time off for the first couple months there before he wanted to come back. And it took him like a minute or two to get acclimated, get back into things. He was taking some shots, and it was that exchange where they both were exchanging overhand shots. It was kind of weird. Like Font got hit, he backed up a little bit, or he kind of like stutter stepped because he got hit, and then he kind of launched the right hand over the left hand of Giannis, connects, and then Giannis stumbles. That was kind of the changing of the round. It was that weird exchange where he was lucky enough to go like this after getting hit and backing up and caught him. And then he just started throwing that jab. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, if there's something with Font, it's that jab. He doesn't throw much power with it. It's just he extends it and he knows how to use it. Yep. But in this one, he was landing it enough to where the same spot to where it was being very effective, and then he would do like double jab and then overhand, and that's what caught Giannis at the end was the double jab overhand shot, put him down, and then he finished him with the hammer fist. And like we don't see Rob finishing guys like that. We see him just jab a guy up like for 5 rounds, and win him by volume. But it was just that Giannis is a guy that likes to get in there. Like he doesn't block his head that much. He started to throw leg kicks, which is a new nuance of his game. So I think it opened his face up even more. And he didn't have an answer for that jab. They both didn't have an answer for each other's jabs. It's just that Rob Font hit him with that overhand and caught him when he didn't expect it. And props to Rob Font, gets back in the win column, and it remains to be seen what he's going to do now, because it was fighting a guy that was behind him. So now, obviously, he's going to want a good matchup now, but he's fought almost everybody in front of him. So,
and he's a bantamweight, right? So, I mean, I have to say, yeah. So, okay, I mean, I guess he has pretty much fought almost everybody in that division. Jesus, Coach, take it away.
So, I knew Rob Font was grittier, and I suspected he had a stronger strength of schedule. I suspected he was just more of the veteran. But what surprised me was to me, you could see the difference in power. Rob Font, first of all, his fists for his side, he's got big hands on a little body. So he lands with some power, and that I don't remember that in some of his other fights, but it was like glaringly obvious to me in this one. Yanez is slick, he's fast, but I think he just wasn't. See, if there's young guys, if there's young coaches, young fighters, if you're listening, take the time. Just don't rush your career, and don't think that your career outside of the UFC matters. You can have 100 fights outside the UFC. They're not the same as your fights in the UFC. Take your time to develop your skills, get your experience in the UFC before you start jumping up the rankings. And, don't find out the hard way that you bit off just a little more than you could chew. Yanez, I think, I think he's special. I think he's got a lot going on. I'm a little sad that this happened to him. And when you're a coach and when you're a fighter and you're in this situation, it's really hard it's hard to be objective and really see how you match up to the competition. And it's just play it safe, get your experience, go one step at a time, and then you will get there eventually. But that's my advice for most everyone.
Yeah.
And if you take that mentality, the big breaks will happen without you chasing them. The big breaks will happen without you. You're just grinding away, getting better. Then all of a sudden, all right, and boom, you're there before you know it. Rob Font, he's a veteran at this point. I don't know what's next for him. No idea. But I'm happy for him. I've always liked him. I like both these guys, and I thought it was a great fight.
Yeah, it was a great fight. Really
I think he's just gonna have to work on training against guys with bigger reaches, because that's a glaring thing that showed in this is the fact that Font is one of the tall guys. So I feel like guys like Rob Font, Corey Sandhagen are going to be guys that he struggles with, that he's going to have to train with and train to get inside instead of standing there and do. One of the things that Giannis does best is back up and throw that jab. Maybe against guys like this, maybe he has to train and learn to get under those shots and get inside the pocket and throw those combinations at these guys instead of doing that. I think maybe that's a mistake that he made in this matchup. Yeah. But he's only 29, so he still has time to learn that, to make the corrections with his striking. But he still was very effective with those shots, and he damaged up the face of Font. So
he did great, and as you pointed out earlier, he is growing, he is learning, he's getting better. It's just it was just he just bit off a little more than he could chew with this matchup. He should have had a more appropriate matchup, but maybe. And the thing is, that's really that's the manager's job, and it's the coach's job. The fighter's job is to fight. Yeah. The fighter's job is to say yes. The fighter's job is to, whatever you put in front of me, I'm gonna kick it down. That's the fighter's job, right? So I talk about Yanez as though it was, but no, it's the people around him. It's his manager, it's his coaches, it's the decision makers.
And maybe it's a thing for that whole group that maybe it's good to get that loss out of the way. Get a little bit of that pressure of trying to stay undefeated, and now he can go back, make the corrections, and be like, okay, this is what I need to do now. Like, I was riding high, but now I see what I was doing wrong, and even though I was winning, like it worked until that point. But now I gotta reshuffle things and get back going from square one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
I gotta tell you guys something. MMA is really hard. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to learn. It's hard to train. And it's hard to fight.
Definitely hard. All the above is hard. That's why I don't do it.
There's a lot of moving pieces, and a lot of people when you're in the mix, when you're in the eye of the storm. It's hard to it's hard to see the mistakes. It's hard to own up to your mistakes, both fighter, coach, manager, everyone. It's hard to get right. And sometimes even it works out when you have it wrong and you get lucky, or you have it right and it still doesn't work out. Right. So, there's just so many uncontrolled variables, and
it's just so much fundamentals in and out, mentally, physically, just overall. Jesus, I commend everybody who does it. I probably talk about it. Hell, you will never see me knock to that. Never. I will never do that. I won't even last. Not even less than a second. But shout out to Clark Street. That's right. Trouble Chief. What's going on Twitch as well? We're on Twitch, ladies and gentlemen, too. Besides following us on our audio platforms, we're on Twitch. We're all over. We're on Twitch, we're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course all the Spotify and Apple podcasts. We're everywhere, baby. That's right.
Wow.
Love it. But yes, what do we got next, Bakley? Talk to me. What do we got?
We got the co-main event here. We got the welterweight matchup. Gilbert Burns defeats Jorge Masvidal by unanimous decision 30-27, 30-27, 29-28 in Jorge's last fight.
Who the fuck scored 20? Okay, that's
There's
my God.
yeah, so many. Yeah.
I scored at 29-28.
Yeah. Look, I want
Really? You gave a round to Masvidal?
If I gave the first round, you could have gave it to Burns. I gave it to Masvidal. It didn't.
Okay.
The first round didn't really matter anyway. So
Yeah, I didn't. I gave all 3 rounds to Burns.
Yeah, Burns dominated. There's nothing much I can really talk about. It's Burns just dominated.
Yeah.
I really feel that Masvidal really was. I know, but for all Masvidal fans, I might get shitted on it, but this guy did not train. I don't think he was prepared mentally and physically for Burns. I feel this was a show. I feel this was his, this is my goodbye. I think he already knew he was going to retire. And mind you, he did not mention the word of retirement. He just said, I'm done. I'm out. I'm done. But are you going to retire? Are you going to retire? But look, overall, this fight should have been all Burns, all 3 rounds, in my opinion. Burns dominated the whole 3 rounds. I know they gave it a Masvidal. That's when we got that 29-28 because they gave him the first round. How you mentioned, basically, they're going to have to. I mean, why? What other option are you going to do it? So, but I just want to still give credit, give my kudos to Masvidal for what he's done in his career in the octagon, all his best fights. I mean, even Dana mentioned, his prior fights and the knee that got him up there, became the Street Jesus, who was that knee to Ben Askren that got him into elevated his career.
His time in Strikeforce before he came to the UFC.
Strikeforce, he was a fucking beast, man. So, I mean, that's why kudos to Masvidal's career, and I wish him nothing for the best. But I already know what he's gonna do. No, you're not going to Bellator like I normally say. Everybody goes to Bellator. I'm not saying that. I think he's gonna bust the celebrity boxing, try to fight one of the fucking Paul brothers. Yeah, well, yeah.
He's going bare knuckle.
Bare knuckle.
My money, I bet you bare knuckle.
I think he would.
Well, he has his own promotion that he's running now, so he might just do that.
You're right.
Game Bread Promotions, which I think that they're working with the thing with the UFC with on the Fight Pass. If it keeps going, I've heard rumblings about that, but it's successful. They've had some famous people on it, especially a couple weeks ago. They had Anthony Pettis against Roy Jones Jr. was the headliner, which is a big matchup for something like that. So I think he's going to do a lot of that and run like a promotion like that, something not huge but big enough to where he can profit off of it.
I think so. I agree. I think that's his money making there. He's making money now. So what else? I mean, he has nothing else to prove in the octagon. He did what he's done, and I'm happy that that he, like I said, I don't see him saying retirement. He just said he's done from the UFC, but he will be doing other things outside of UFC. That will for sure. And like how Coach said, hey, at bare knuckle, if they offered him a lot of money, he will fucking go. He will do it. The man will take that money. Money talks, baby. Money talks. But the other thing too that shocked me I think maybe he deserves it. Maybe why not? Burns pretty much told Dana White, "You better put me as a backup for the Leon Edwards and Covington," and he granted him his wish. He said, "All right, I'm going to give you that wish. Now you talk the talk, now you walk the walk. I know you bitch too much at me. Why did I chose Covington to be the backup fighter instead of you? Well, fine, I'll put you as a backup fighter for Covington and Edwards." So good for Gilbert to get his wishes, and we'll see what happens. We'll just it's a long way to go to see what holds for Gilbert Burns in this division in the welterweight, because the welterweight, like how we always been saying it, we've been like resting positively about it, that it's fantastic. That right now that division is stacked. You can't move anywhere. Everybody's stuck. That's what it's so much.
And to think that 4 guys in the top 10 used to be lightweights.
Right?
Because Gilbert Burns used to be a lightweight, and then he
Yes.
moved up. You had Jorge Masvidal, who was a lightweight. He moved up. It's they just added, like, Kevin Lee came back. He's outside the top 15, but he was a lightweight. Like Nate Diaz, who just retired, he was a lightweight and moved up. Like that seems like the big thing now. Like the welterweights are former lightweights that either couldn't cut it or just needed to make a move, and they did that. And I think that's what's helped make it so exciting of a division. And with the fact that Chimaev is moving to middleweight, it looks like, I don't know if it's permanent, but he's going to be fighting. And there's talks that the fight's going to be him and Paulo Costa in the co-main event of Abu Dhabi in October. We might not see Chimaev anytime soon.
Son of a, okay.
At welterweight, which means more options for guys up there, especially Shavkat and Burns.
Yeah,
and that's a fight I want to see, is Shavkat versus Burns.
Yeah, that's definitely. But go ahead, baby, break it down for this fight.
It's just like I said last week when we were breaking it down. The wrestling, the grappling, it's just something that Jorge Masvidal struggles against. He got controlled that whole second round, 4 minutes and 6 seconds. He just couldn't do anything. When he's in the open air, he can land a lot of stuff. He has power in his hands, but we've said it. He was all about being street Jesus. He didn't really add so much to his game when he came into MMA. It's just that he had that knockout power. He could clinch up a little bit with you, and he can move around. He used that to his advantage, and that's why he was a 50-50 fighter in the UFC. I think he was 8-8 or 8-9 at welterweight, and then he was 3-2 at lightweight since joining the UFC. And certain matchups where it was that power hand that was the equalizer for him, but he struggled against a lot of guys in the clinch, being overpowered because he just didn't have those skills, because he came into it later, fighting guys on the streets compared to training in the gym at an earlier age. But he made it work. He made millions off of it, so I can't hate him for that, because he did something that a lot of people probably couldn't do with the proper skills.
Yeah, definitely. Coach, break it down for us.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect you to go to the distance. I thought Burns was going to finish it. It's great that Masvidal had such a long and storied career, and I'm happy that he retired. The fight itself was okay. It was a fight, but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't anything special or spectacular. Burns is on his way up, and that's great. And Masvidal is on to bigger and better things, and that is also great. So it was a nice event. I also want to commend Jorge for "Let's Go Brandon" at the end in his speech. Mm-hmm. Other than that, that's all I got.
I'm kind of glad that Gilbert went back to the drawing board after losing to Usman, and he was like, I can't be going knockout crazy anymore, because he made the move from lightweight to welterweight, and he started knocking guys out. And his
I don't know. I felt like he was taking it easy on George.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was just,
I think it was all
like you said, that he learned and he got better. I think he was just
Well, not just this one. I've seen a couple of fights where he's not trying to go for that knockout every single time. He's mixing things
He's getting
up.
a little more sophisticated with his strikes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or shot selection.
Yeah, I think so too, because you mentioned with that Usman one. But even though with the Usman one, he could have definitely won that fight, He definitely got. Well, what's going on in here? Who's coming in? Someone's coming in.
Bom, bom, bom.
Yes.
Let's
the
see.
Director.
No, it's the mod. Alex, is he coming in?
Yeah.
I don't know if he is. I don't think so. Unless he pressed the button, we'll see if he comes in or not. But
faking us out.
I know he's probably just teasing us. But yeah, I mean, this was a show. Wasn't really. There's nothing much I can really even too like. Good for one. Look, good for both. That's all I gotta say. There's nothing much. It was a show, man. They did it for Trump, damn it. He was there. They did it for Trump. They did it for Tato. It was all a show. Good for them and for the Miami crowd, their hero retiring.
Yeah, hometown being able to finish out where he started in Miami, so that's a good thing for him.
Oh, see, look who decided to come in. There you go. Hey. Well, what is going on? What half of the minus of pain, ladies and gentlemen. Alex, 5 times.
Hey man, when you're winning championships and cashing checks and doing all that stuff,
calm down, Masvidal. Calm down, Masvidal. Calm down. So what, you want the BMF title or what? Is that what it is? That's why you taking time off because you're the baddest motherfucker now. That's what it is. You got to thank Coach for that because he trained you too. You got to give him some credit. You got to give him some credit too. You have to. But go ahead, Alex. Give us your take on this co-main event since we're already on it, brother. Maybe he froze. Did he freeze? Yeah, looked like he froze.
Yes.
Oh, yes. It's the glacier got to him. He'll be back. Let him.
Snapping necks, and cashing checks.
There you go.
Forgot to pay his internet bill. Okay.
That's what happened. He forgot to pay the internet bill. Oh, there you go. All right, you're back now. You see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put some respect on my name, man.
What? Hey, but you forgot to pay your internet bill. You see, even Coach is saying, man, snapping necks, cashing checks, but forgetting to pay the internet bill. Huh? That's what.
Yeah.
But go ahead, brother. Break it down for us. Your thoughts about the co-main event.
Yeah, it was good. Just shows that age really showed for Masvidal in this fight. He was a little bit slow. He was taking a lot of kicks, a lot of leg kicks, and Burns looked really good. I mean, I just think Burns just played it safe. We all know Masvidal's wrestling defense is not really he's lost to a lot of wrestlers. So Burns stuck to that game plan and executed it. He looked really good. Did you guys talk about this? But what are your thoughts on the grease on Masvidal? Apparently, Burns said that he kind of greased himself or something like that, or he put lotion.
I didn't catch that, to be honest. I didn't. What happened with that? If you want to break it down for us, because I don't know.
Oh, Burns said in the press conference that he was the reason why he couldn't finish him is because I guess his body was it just felt like he put Vaseline or lotion, so it was very hard to keep him down in the ground. They said the only reason why Masvidal got up is because he was very slippery.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that. I did not even notice that at all.
Well, I mean that's what he said. That but you hear it all the time. But you look at Masvidal; he doesn't have a lot of body hair.
Right? He doesn't. Only just here, the beards. That's it. But that's all he has.
The commission does. They check backstage. They check ringside. So it's hard to actually. It's pretty challenging to grease and get away with it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, main event time, baby. What do we got, Bakley?
We got the welterweight champ. Yeah, I mean the middleweight championship. My bad. Israel Adesanya defeats Alex Fajeda by second round KO to become the 2-time middleweight champion.
I'm glad I didn't bet on this fight. If I would have did a fucking parlay, I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed, and I'm glad I
told you. That's all I'm gonna say is I told you.
I know. I know. When I saw you in the chat, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not even gonna say anything. But Chris is not here to defend himself. But I know Chris is like, I'm done watching. I don't believe this. I'm like, what? What's going on? No, this is all rigged. No, it's not rigged. For God's sakes, MMA is never rigged. But
Well, you can't say never. You can't say never.
Let's knock on wood. Let's just keep it that way. Let's just make sure, because now with the merger with UFC and WWE, we don't want so much entertainment.
Oh my God.
Yes. See, there you go. Oh, yep. Izzy with the crossbow twice. And I said it. Patosia's problem is his defense. He doesn't cover him up so much. I don't know what he was doing. For me, I'm just, what are you doing? Like, I get it that he came in right at, had, Izzy like towards the cage, but Izzy caught that opening, caught him, hit him right in the temple, knocked him out. Izzy got his redemption. I'm happy for him. Should it be a trilogy for the UFC? I think it should be. But now I'm seeing there's talks that they're considering moving Alex to the light heavyweight division. And I'm like, what?
He might even challenge for the title. Right.
Right away. They're like, what? They're gonna put him against Jamal Hill for the light heavyweight. Like, no, I don't know.
They're doing the WWE storyline.
Yes.
Because he beat
before
Glover.
the deal is finished, right?
Yep. So I mean, that could be the story, but I mean, good for Izzy winning. TKO, knockout, second round. Good for him. I'm happy for him. I don't know what's next, because, like I said, seeing that middleweight division is not. I'm losing investment of it. Right now, we mentioned earlier before Alex came on, the welterweight division is the hottest thing right now in the UFC. I don't see this middleweight division going anywhere. I was expecting Alex to retain and for Izzy to leave that division, because there's nothing else left. But I mean, we already seen him as light heavyweight. He can't do much over there either.
His hope is Chimaev has a good showing against Costa, and then if DDP can keep moving up, Duplessis, if he can keep moving up, because they're having a war words with each other after that. Yeah. Talking about being a better representative of Africa and this and that. But that he needs to hope that he keeps that move up the rankings.
Yeah, definitely. But go ahead, Bakley, break it down. What you got it right. You chose this man. So
I said it before. He needed this. This was paramount that he got this victory. It would have tarnished his legacy, having not one but two losses for the belt against Fajeda. Even though through all those defenses that he had, it would have been 2 losses in a row, and 4 total if he would have lost here against the guy. And that just wouldn't have looked right. He came in motivated. He came in, won this. I love the fact that he came in right away, throwing those calf kicks very low. He wasn't rushing things. I said all along, one of the things about Fajeda that is very dangerous is he throws leg kicks. He can be aggressive. It's more like controlled chaos, but he doesn't rush into you. He thinks 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. And Adesanya, just like the last fight, kind of went around that. He was just throwing, moving. He knows how to fight 5-round fight, so he uses that. And Fajeda doesn't. Like you saw Fajeda slow down last fight, but like we said, round 5, his coaches clicked in there. You need this, and he was urgent, and he got the knockout here. He had Adesanya in the round 2, a couple of chances where he had him backing up or he hit him, and instead of just taking what he was given, he rushed in and was trying to throw haymakers at Adesanya, backed him up against the cage, and it was weird. Like usually he throws those straight punches. He was throwing those overhand punches at Adesanya along the cage, and all Adesanya was doing was kind of baiting him in there, and then he ducked, and then he threw a shot at him. Fajeda always leaves himself open for shots, and especially when you rush in, he's even more open. He got hit once, boom, shuffle over to the left, hit him again, had him knocked down. Adesanya let himself loose afterwards with all the celebration because he knew that he finally slayed the beast that he couldn't beat in glory, and he didn't beat in the first fight for the title, and he got his belt back, and he did it. And instead of running it back for a third one, they both agreed, hey, these two fights were great. Like, I'm going to move up to light heavyweight because if you look at Fajita, this guy is huge. When you put him next to Glover Teixeira, who was a heavyweight and light heavyweight, this guy is like almost twice as big as him, and he was cutting all that weight. So I feel like it's going to do him maybe better to go to light heavyweight, if that's crazy to say.
Maybe so, but go ahead, Alex. I want to hear your take. Go for it.
I think it's so crazy to me that like Adesanya wins this fight, and they make it seem like he won the war and won the whole thing. Like it's still 3-1. Like you know, like I don't know what's so crazy about it. Like I don't know. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's like he like they were celebrating like he won it, and it's like it's still 3-1. I wouldn't be happy if I lost to the guy 3 times, and I barely took me so long to finally beat him. But you know, yeah, I mean, honestly, he did look good though. I think Pereira just kept himself when he like, you know, comes aggressive. He leaves his chin really up a high, so it sets him up a really big target for him, and that's the reason why he got caught. And you know, and yeah, the way it was starting to look good for him too, because he was putting him against the cage. You know, he was eliminating the kicks. You know, as much as he gets close, I think that was his game plan, was to kind of eliminate the kicks and throw his punches and get in and try to go for the knockout. But I think he just swung a little bit too crazy and left himself wide open, and Adesanya just, you know, set up that trap and got him. But yeah, I mean, overall look good, and we'll see what happens. I think there should be a rematch. I think right away, do a rematch right away and just finish it. Whoever wins it, I guess, you know, wins the war, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to put him against Jamal and do that setup and kind of like you see beat Glover. So, you know, that's his coach. So I think they're going to go for that. And yeah.
But they're talking about having Alex going to light heavyweight, beat Jamal Hill, have Busy move up to light heavyweight to beat Alex, just for him to be, you know, have a double champ. And just for that setup, that's what they want to fucking do this. That is ridiculous if that does happen, Mike.
I'm just gonna say, poor Robert Whitaker, poor him.
But it doesn't get shit, man. What? Oh my god!
He was so happy when Fajita won, and he was like, "Yes, I'm gonna get that third title shot." And then
well, honestly, at this point, Whitaker is just a gatekeeper because he's lost to Adesanya, you know, a couple times already. So they don't want to do that rematch, and people don't want to see that. So. You know, Whitaker is in a position where he's not gonna get a title shot unless there's a new middleweight champion.
Yeah, that's very, very true. I agree. Coach, break it down.
And everybody's getting older too.
Yeah, that's true.
So Ivan, you were saying that no one's undefeated, but there are 2 undefeated fighters in history: Father Time and Mother Nature.
Ooh, I like that.
Very, very true. Very
Father Time, yeah, Father Time fucks with all of us. So, yeah, I have to give. I'm making the assumption that this was Coach Eugene that came up with the game plan and had Izzy play hurt back up to the cage. You know, they watched the tape. They came up with the plan, and Eugene is a genius. Everyone knows that. So I had picked Pereira because I don't like Izzy's personality. But I mean, that's
no one does.
But I don't know. Every now and then he comes around and he does something, and I'm like, okay, well maybe I do like this guy. But then he'll have a fight like he did with take your pick, Cannonier, where he just does the absolute bare minimum, like calls. I hate that, man. He phones it in and doesn't show up for the fight. He showed up for this fight, and he had a brilliant game plan, and Potan walked right into the trap. The other thing is, Potan, as you all have already pointed out, lacks defense. He's just uh, there's no excuse for it, right? You're supposed to be one of the best kickboxers in the world, and you get hit way too much. And then when you're doing the massive weight cuts that he does, that affects your ability to take a shot.
Yeah.
I am anti weight cut all around because I'm pro science and I'm literate and I'm well educated. Cutting weight at all affects your performance. The bigger the weight cut, the more adverse, the more harm you do. Potan, there's a picture of him with Dominic Reyes, who's one of the bigger light heavyweights, and he was dwarfing Reyes, and it was just like, wait a second, wait, one of these guys is a middleweight, one's a light heavyweight. So Potan will do well at light heavy. The thing is, though, man, he's getting old.
Yeah.
He's getting old, and he had that brutal knockout, and who knows what that's going to do to him. I would like to see the rubber match in the UFC. I would like to see it between Potan and Izzy. I don't know if they're going to make it. I don't know how it's going to go. Potan has some advantages physically, but as far as the coaching and the gamesmanship and the craft and all around, Izzy's a better fighter, right? He's got more skills. He's more well-rounded. And Glover and Potan could put in the work and catch up. So yeah, I think I do. I want to see the rematch.
Yeah, me too. I think the rematch makes more sense in that division because just to elevate it. To be honest, I just don't feel that it's necessary to move up, Pereira to the light heavyweight just to plan that shit out to have Izzy to move up to light heavyweight and make it a pound for pound champion.
And from what I've seen from both fights, I felt like Adesanya I felt like he really beat him in the first fight, got knocked out, of course, by the Hail Mary in round 5, and then he had him in this one. He just game plans better, in my opinion. I think Fahid is the better kickboxer, but Adesanya is the better MMA fighter.
Yes, totally agree with that. Yeah, as much as we want to be biased, Coach, from his personality, but the man that, how you mentioned Coach Eugene really, giving the game plan, and it definitely worked. And I got to commend that. And look, Alex Pereira is not Glover Teixeira. You cannot take all those heavy punches like Glover does. And no, you can't do that. You're not Glover Teixeira.
The two different style fighters.
Way two different styles.
See,
come
the
on.
Other thing, the company has to go with what makes money. And there's a little bit of a storyline there, but nobody really gives a shit about Potan fighting Jamal Hill, other than Jamal Hill is a star that sells. But you can put anyone in there with Jamal, and he'll make a fight, and he'll sell it, and he'll be great to watch.
Yeah.
There's a limited time offer. You got a small amount of time left with Potan, and I think the best business decision is to have the rubber match and cash your chips.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We'll see what the future holds for that middleweight division, because if we're looking at the middleweight division, you still have Whitaker at 2, Marvin Vettori at 3, Cannonier at 4, Paul Costa at 5, Duplessis at 6, Strickland at 7, Bronson at 8, Dulce at 9, Jack Hermanson at 10, Gaslam, which he had a good fight, by the way, in the prelims. Great performance by him. He moved up. Now he's at 11. And
Give me Duplessis versus Marvin Vittori, and then we got Chimaev against Paulo Costa. Give me that. I want to see what Duplessis can do against a guy like Vittori. And if he could get by him, then he deserves a title shot, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready. He's got some. He's got some work to do. But
he's not ready.
Yeah. Oh, he's not ready. He's not ready. Vittori would maul him.
I think he might damage Vittori, because I wasn't very confident in Vittori's last fight, even though I picked him.
Yeah, he didn't look great.
No,
he didn't look great.
And especially with the new camp, we didn't even know that he changed fight camps. But it's weird, like a guy like Duplessis, he has that weird breathing problem where he has to breathe through his mouth. And I forget why, but like it always looks like he's tired, but then he can still throw the same rate, because he said it's this weird thing with him.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I with Duplessis, if I'm saying that right, I just he's got cavernous holes in his game.
Yeah.
He's physically fit, but welcome to middleweight, Yeah. But yeah, his striking it's not sophisticated enough. He doesn't mix the striking and the grappling very well, and his grappling is it's mediocre. But there's a lot of potential there. But I'd like to see him actually build and grow into the potential. I don't think he's ready to really start facing the guys higher up the food chain yet.
What about Sean Strickland?
I'm friends with Sean,
and he's at number 7.
so I'm not going to say much about Sean. I mean, listen,
he's a personality there. I'll say.
Yeah,
that.
Sean.
I love his personality.
He's a moneymaker. He's a showman, right? We all know he's not going to get the belt. His career, he knows that he needs to start taking the money fights and starting his gracious exit from the sport. He knows this.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might punch me in the mouth next time he sees me, but
let's hope not. Okay, let's not hope
again. Yeah, I mean, I like Strickland. I think he's fun to watch. I think he's great to listen to. But as far he's not a contender. He's definitely top 5, and let him fight there. But see, the middleweight division, man, like how many guys has Izzy beaten twice already, and
let's see. I'm looking at, obviously,
like he beat.
Let's see. Who did he beat? He beat
Whitaker
Vittori.
twice.
Yeah, Whitaker twice.
Vittori twice.
Cannonier once.
Cannonier once only.
Costa once.
Costa.
Yeah. He hasn't fought Duplessis. He hasn't fought Strickland.
Nope.
He beat. I believe he beat Brunson.
Oh yeah, he beat Brunson.
He
beat
didn't.
Brunson. He
hasn't fought Dulitze. Didn't fight Hermanson, I believe. He beat Gastelum for the title.
Yep.
No Ivanov, no Allen, no Muniz, and then no Curtis.
No, it's just that there's.
But half those guys just lost in the past month.
That's right. Yeah, it's. Hey, should we talk about Action Man and Gastelum?
Oh yeah, go for it. Let's bring it up.
Curtis. What's his name?
Chris Curtis.
Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis. And Gastelum put on one of the better fights that evening. I don't know. What's that do with their rankings? I don't know. But
well, Gastelum moved up. That's why he moved to 11.
Yeah, he's 11. And they switched spots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, technically they switched spots. So just by seeing of where they're at. So I mean, they technically switched spots.
Yeah, he's 11, and then Curtis is 15.
Yeah, see, look at the rankings here. Let me share this tab right here. There you go. So let me switch it up here, easier for us, or closer, so you guys can see. Let me remove this. So there, so guys will move up 4 spots because how Bakley mentioned that the rest of the guys here the past month lost. Everybody dropped down, and I guess and Chris Curtis switched with,
and even Delice, who is number 9, lost to Vittori.
Oh, that's right. He lost to Vittori. Yeah. That's right.
And then Brunson lost to Duplessis.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Jesus.
Yeah, somebody's got to make something happen at middleweight. A fighter really needs to break out, and they really they don't need. Well, right? Hey, I mean, he's got the hype, and he's right. That could be awesome. But somebody, I worry that Whitaker's done what he's going to do. Vittori's done what he's going to do. Cannonier's done what he's. I just worry that these guys have made it kind of to the end of their skill set, their vision, and yeah. But just like Masvidal had that conversation with himself, and all of a sudden came in as a changed man and became Street Jesus, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody needs to have an epiphany like that. Somebody needs to have a dark night of the soul and really, talk to the guy in the mirror and really make that change, and just start beating people up and taking on all comers, and let Izzy go do whatever he's got to do to make the money, and you just fucking put your nose to the grindstone, put asses in seat, put chins on floors, and I don't know who it's going to be. It'd be great if it was Sean.
Right? It's just, I still feel that they need a couple more wins in them for Duplessis and for Sean. I mean, I just can't see Whitaker and Izzy part a trilogy.
Right.
I can't see that. Okay. Was the second fight? I'm trying to remember which one was like. Wow, it was like the one that was close to me. I think it was the second fight. I think when they had. Correct if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but I mean Whitaker had the opportunity, but that's it. I mean, I think Whitaker should lead that division. I mean, if Izzy doesn't leave, why Whitaker stay there? You're not. Dana White's not going to book you.
He's been inactive so much because he's kind of stuck at that one spot. Well, he's actually 2 now, but yeah.
Yeah, but for what fucking reason? Then move up to light heavyweight. Then try something new. If Dana White ain't gonna book you in that division and not book a trilogy between him and Izzy, then what is he gonna do in that division? What is there left for him? Nothing.
And that's why, I feel like with how kind of held up the welterweight division is, that's why Chimaev is making that move up, because he's like, geez, Usman and Edwards just had a trilogy, and now Colby Covington is getting his 3rd title shot.
Man, we already know why. We already know why.
Well, we know why.
I'm not going to get into politics because this is not a politics podcast.
Well, no, I'm going to say we know why with that. But Chimaev, how long is he going to wait there? When he was supposed to get. So he's
make him fight Bilal Muhammad. Then make that a fucking fight. The winner of that fight. The winner of Covington and
but then he's fighting down when he's been on this win streak. He fought somebody when he was at 15 that was ranked number 2, and he beat them.
Right. So you want to make a contenders match. You want to make money, a money fight. This could be the opportunity. If they can put them both in the same night, it will be great. My opinion.
He beat Gilbert Burns, who is on a roll now. I think that's to me that's enough. He beat him.
Well, I mean,
he was supposed to get a shot, and then Usman lost to Edwards, and then he lost the rematch. So it's like,
So it looks like it is true. He is moving up to fucking light heavyweight then. So thank you, Bitsy, for that information.
so you,
So he's
you
only
can
going to
kinda,
cut 30 pounds.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get him moving up,
Aaron,
and then
no.
no, and
It's
then
happening. I think it's booked already for 289.
yeah, it's in June.
In June, so it's gonna happen. Because
And then, so I think Shemaev is like, it's better calculated risk for me to move up, fight once in October, and then if I win that, I get a title shot because of all the guys that Izzy has already fought and beat once or twice.
it's crazy that it looks like it's all fucking planned, and it looks like Pereira's gonna move to light heavyweight. He made the announcement already. So if this happens, that we get Izzy and Alex and 3 in pound for pound, title for title, I'm gonna be pissed the fuck off.
We won't. It's
I
never
better
gonna
not. We better not. We need to see something different.
Yeah.
Those were, those are the two lacking divisions right now. I'm happy that Jamal Hill got his shot, but I don't know. I hope Jamal Hill wins.
I think he will.
I
think he
hope
will.
he does.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a good money fight for him too. It's going to be good for him. But yeah.
I would even say that maybe they shouldn't even do that, and you make a guy like Fajita fight Yuri Prochaska, but we don't even know what condition he's in.
Yeah, we don't even know yet if he's fully 100% ready or not. But we'll see. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Good debate here. But we'll be back here for this fight coming up in Cinco de Mayo weekend. That
This
is,
guy-
of course,
th- this
Aljamain
guy-
Sterling.
This guy will be there.
Bakley will be
Oh,
there.
nice.
Bakley will be there attending as we got the return of course, Cejudo challenging Aljamain Sterling for the bantamweight title. And, of course, Oliveira making a return against Bel de la Rouge. That's going to be I'm going to save myself for that one because I don't know.
Yeah.
That's going to –
You got Jessica Andrade versus Yan Xiaonan. That's going to be pretty good fight.
Oh, I hope he doesn't get it. Yeah, he's going to get a media title shot, guys. So we might see that announcement coming soon from Damian White. He's going to do it. So don't be surprised that he'll make it.
Yeah, you gotta make the money while you can, because
Yep.
it's so easy to. Anybody with legit grappling is going to beat Potan in MMA, right? And
Yeah.
especially at light heavy, man. He's going to have a rough time at light heavyweight. So it makes
imagine
sense.
him against a guy like Magomed Ankalaev.
Oh my God, right?
Oh.
Now, it makes total sense to give him the title shot. Flip a coin. If he wins, cool. If he loses, whatever. We made our money, and that's really all you can do with him.
Agreed. I absolutely agreed. But we'll be here. We're doing actually a special one. It's not an MMA for next Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, because that's if, of course, Bakley and I think the Modest Brother and Coach, that's if he wants to. But because next week, I'm going to do the debate center here because we want to debate about one upcoming fight that is coming next Saturday, April 22nd. And that is, of course, Garcia and Tank Davis, which they'll be fighting is next Saturday. If you would like to join us here, we will talk about it, give our thoughts of who will win this prize money fight, because this fight has been building for a long time, and we finally got it. So, see, they agree with you, Coach. They agree with you. So, yes, we got Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, April 22nd. The debate center will be here again, 8 o'clock. Pacific Standard Time, 11 o'clock Eastern. We'll talk about that, and we'll probably debate some MMA to talk about, hey, if there's any more news about, Alex Pereira moving to officially, see if there's any upcoming ones that, but we're going to be here next Wednesday because I want to talk about that fight. I don't know if you guys want to join me to talk about that because Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, let's talk about it, baby. I cannot wait for that. So.
I'm a licensed boxing coach too, so.
There you go. Woo! We can't wait to get the coach's thoughts on this fight next Wednesday. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to follow the man with the IQ, and he's also part of the Blood Eye Entertainment Network, Cage My IQ. course, he's gonna have his best slips on the bloodlinenetwork.com. Make sure you go bloodline.
I hit on Sam Hughes this week, so
Yeah, you hit, yeah, pretty much. Whoever wins that best slip.
I had her winning, and then I had her by decision, and she came back and beat Anarum after almost getting choked out.
Yeah, wow. And then we have, of course, follow the coach, man. Follow the coach Rage. It was going to show you that pain in that cage. Follow IR. Make sure your IR is on the description right below. You can follow him. And I know you got something coming up in the next 10 days. Fighters Prep, coach. Talk about
Wow. Yeah. So my fighter, Dylan the Butcher Ludwig, is back in the Lion's Den. Fighters Rep 18. And that is like, I think it's April 22nd.
April 22nd.
Yes,
that
April
same
22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a week from Saturday. I don't remember what the date is. Yeah. Commerce Casino. And this is going to be a fight. I'm looking forward to it. But we win by knockout. That's what we do. So
that's right, ladies and gentlemen. And also, if you want to catch that here, I will show you the website very brief.
nice.
Go to fightersrep.com. Purchase your tickets. There you go. Tickets are on sale now at the Commerce Casino. There you go. Make sure fightersrep.com.
And if you can't make it live, there's a live stream that you can purchase also.
That is right.
Same website, yeah.
Same website. You can catch it here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited. Listen, there's so much good shit of world of not just MMA, but boxing, kickboxing, you name it. It's getting hot, so it's we can't wait. We cannot wait. Woo, ladies and gentlemen. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the Bloodline Entertainment Network, and also on the Circle Debate channel. We'll meet you guys for next Wednesday. Top discussions of MMA and boxing will be here at the same time because we are going to give our prediction for that Garcia and Tank Davis. Looking forward to talk to you guys about that. And we bid you adieu. Good night. Goodbye. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.